Gonna load our next flight here, ready to go. New York to Dulles. That's a really short flight. How far is this? It's only like 200 miles or something. It's barely even worth doing in an airplane, honestly. But all right, so let's get the flight plan filed here. So while we're kind of on final there, I did a really quick and dirty flight plan here. I mean, it doesn't not really that dirty. It just got it in there while I was kind of on final. So we're going to reconnect with the correct flight number here for the next leg. Very good. Perfect. And it's a really short and easy flight plan, this one here. So this is my JFK to IAD flight plan here. And it's really quick and easy, direct to Robbinsville and the Hyper 8 arrival for Dulles. And the total distance, the Great Circle distance, is 198 miles. We're going to actually fly 267 miles just because of the convoluted route we're going to fly, but it's less than 200 miles to Washington from New York. So, yeah, probably not making a ton of money on this one, but let's get this underway here. All right, so they're deboarding, and we can go ahead and get into my tablet or into my FMS here. So it looks like everything's been cleared out properly. So I've got the AviaWorks server going on my tablet, if I can get the passcode to go on it. There we go. So I've got the AviaWorks server up on my tablet, so I got the whole CDU on there, so I can literally just type away, which is great. So let's go to the flight plan page, and let's get some information in there.
All passengers have left the plane.
Thank you. All right, so KJFK to KIAD. Alternate for this is Pittsburgh. And this flight number is 5040. 5040. Oops. Endeavor 5040. So we're going to depart runway 31 left. Since we arrived the right side, we're going to depart 31 left. I'm going to do the score 4 because I think the last time we did this, we did the score 4 departure, and I cannot remember the transition. So let's see here. Which one would kind of make more sense for going out to Robbinsville? There's Robbinsville. So the Ranger, I think, would make more sense. So we'll go with the Ranger departure. Back to the flight plan page, and then I might as well not even bother putting anything in there because it's a radar vector 2 departure arrival in Dulles on the what did I say? What's the arrival?
Do you want to deboard crew?
Nobody. What we do need to do is call the fuel truck though to make sure we have fuel for this. Is the Hyper 8? Which arrival are we doing here? It is the Hyper 8. There it is. Okay, so Hyper 8, Robbinsville transition. That's what we're looking for. The planned arrival runway ILS 1 right. And I'm just going to do the vectors transition here, so we can go ahead and put that in, and that's basically all we've got. I'm going to execute that. Let's just have a look over the legs page. So there's the score 4 departure. It goes as far as Ranger, and then it goes to Robbinsville, and that's the whole arrival in there until we get to a discon after Tycon before we do the ILS to 1 right in Washington Dulles. So that all looks good. Let's go to the perf page again. We'll put in flex temp of 46 works well for me, and let's change the loading of this aircraft here. So the fuel truck's underway. How many packs have we got today? So this one's got 65. So we'll go back here and we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I kind of match the aft cargo to the passengers, being that that's probably some of their baggage and whatnot. All right, so I'm going to set that payload in the simulator and copy the perf init data. And the only thing then I have to do, I can set all the flap 5 takeoff, flaps 8 takeoff, set all that. The only thing I'm missing is a fuel load, which we're waiting for the fuel truck to come. And while we're waiting for the fuel truck to come, we might as well start boarding. Let's see here. So what's the fuel load for this one here? We're looking for, again, about 8,700 pounds. 3,200 to get there, 2,200 for the alternate, final reserve 1,500. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so we're waiting for that fuel truck to come back. While we're waiting for the fuel truck to come back, we might as well just start request boarding. Oh, I have to open aft cargo to finish offloading here. Alright, so the aft cargo is open. Should be open. Yeah, there he goes. Just need to reload the menu, and then we'll request boarding as well. So we got all sorts of stuff going on here. Now they're going to start unloading the bags. You do have to admire like what GSX has done for the animation too. Like it looks really quite good as he's putting his bags on the cart, and they accumulate on this cart. Like, well done. Well done overall. Except that forward one for some reason is not. Oh, he's not aligned with it. Oh, that must be like the CRJ 700 or something he's aligned with. Oh, well. Yeah, it's not a perfect system, but it's pretty good. I could probably adjust that if I wanted to as well. The nice thing about GSX is there's so much adjustment you can do. All right, cruise altitude. What did SimBrief select as a cruise altitude today? 30,000. I'm going to go with 26,000. I'm going to go with 24,000. You know, at 24,000, just because it's such a short flight. There's no point in going really high. Alternate, and especially coming in and out of New York and into Washington, like you'd be descending before you even get up to 28,000 anyway. So Pittsburgh, I believe we could probably get 28,000. So I'll set that up, and that's our alternate anyway, so we can go kind of ideal on that. Setting up the performance here, the ISA deviation on this is -2. And the average cruise wind 260 at 33. Execute that. VNAV setup, we just need to change the cruise Mach number to 0.77 and we're done. That's easy. I think we can definitely get out of here in 30 minutes if they can get loaded. I think that's the biggest thing, is how fast can GSX load up my airplane here, because I'm already halfway ready for the next flight plan. I need fuel still, but we're halfway there. Auto close both. APU's running. I'm not even going to worry about hooking up ground power because we're on a quick turn here. In which case, since we're going to leave the APU running, we might as well leave the packs on. I don't know why I turned them off. Really, that was kind of short-sighted, perhaps. Alright, so we're waiting for the fuel truck. What's that score for departure safer and altitude? It says maintain 5,000. So let's set that. Passenger doors, left and right oil pressure, that's fine. Not too worried about the oil pressure because the engines aren't running. Alright, so we got that ready to go. And we're just waiting for these guys to load, unload, and reload. Still got 2,000 on the transponder standby. Yeah. We are pretty much ready to go already here. Let's get the go-around bars up there. Takeoff, love it. These guys haven't even finished unloading yet. I think the thing we're going to be waiting for is GSX. But sometimes that's the way it is. Like the crew's ready to go and not much happens because everyone else has got jobs to do as well. I wish it'd be kind of a little more aggressive in prompting me to open those cargo doors though, because I didn't realize I was waiting for them. And I think that happened once before where I didn't realize that we were waiting for the cargo doors, which kind of threw the whole thing for a bit of a loop. So anyways, while we're sitting here waiting, we can see what else we can do here. I think we can get this briefing out of the way. So are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
All right. So we're going to taxi for departure in New York's Kennedy today, off of runway 31 left. So we're parked right over here, one of these gates here. So we're going to go out Kilo Fox And Bravo Juliet Zulu to get to the threshold runway 31 left. We will have to cross 4 left, 22 right, so we'll make sure to look both ways because there's no ATC online today. Nope, still no ATC online. So we'll have to make sure we keep an eye out for potential traffic there departing or arriving on that runway, since nobody's controlling New York today. Let me just get rid of these and pull up my SID. So today's departure is the Score 4 RNAV departure, plate 20-3 Charlie for New York's Kennedy, and effective on the 4th of February 2022 for runway 31 left. Climb heading 314, intercept course of 238 to score. I can see down there it says 238 score. Maintain 5,000, expect clearance to file altitude flight level 10 minutes after departure. And that's basically it. So we're going to hit up METs above 2,500. That should be no problem to make that. And then Ranger. And from Ranger, we're probably just going to go direct to Robbinsville. It's a vector, but we're probably just going to do direct because it'll get us there pretty quickly and easily. MSA around New York, 2,900 feet. The weather, beautiful VFR day. When we just landed, it was nice. Maybe some little bit of icing in the clouds, but that's about the only thing we have to worry about weather-wise. Operational MELs, I've got everything functions on this airplane. NOTAMs, quick check of the JFK NOTAMs here. Let's see here. Position signs, markings, so many NOTAMs sometimes that are not terribly critical, and yet legally obligated to put these all up there, and the important things just get lost in the sea of things like, oh, the position sign east is unserviceable. It's been knocked over, or it's obscured by snow or something. It's like, we need to have like a priority level of NOTAMs. Like anything involving a runway that's open or closed needs to be a higher priority than, oh, the taxiway signs are faded. You'll see it so often. Center line marking is not standard. Like, oh my god, like sometimes it's a little too much. Let's see here. SID. Kennedy 5. Nope.
They're on Unicom.
And star. Okay, and that's it. Alright. Alright. How's that loading, unloading going? Alright. So the unloading's done.
Boarding requested.
So boarding's requested and the fuel truck should be on its way. Refueling service requested. Well, stop doing that. Stop moving the jetway away. Honest to God. At least I have the programmer up on the other screen now. Just tap the button to bring the jetway back. Don't send those guys away because we're going to need to load the rest of the bags. Alright, we need a fuel truck. And this is now real-world aviation. We're sitting here and we're waiting for things to happen that are usually outside of your control. You're waiting for a fuel truck. You're waiting for baggage. It's like, oh my god, we just want to go. So, baggage loading in progress. Refueling service requested. So the refuel might not come till all the baggage is loaded now. But they drove everything away, so I'm not sure if they're going to actually come and load or not. And every once in a while, GSX gets a little kind of discombobulated in its scripting here. It says baggage loading in progress. I don't see anything happen though. And it won't bring the fuel truck over because it gives a higher priority to baggage loading, but I actually need the fuel. So what we can do is we can do this. Reset GSX and just call for just fuel. Say the passengers are boarding right now. Nope, too quick. It takes a second for it to reset. And now, there it is. Alright, request refueling. This is the most important thing, is request refueling. Come on, do it. There we go. Now it's going to do it.
Refueling truck is on its way.
For some reason it won't reload SimBrief here, even though it's supposed to. Okay, fuel truck is on its way. That's the important thing here. As long as we can get fuel, we can get out of here. We don't even need all that much, to be honest. It should only take about 3 or 4 minutes to do this here. But we need fuel. 8,600, we're at 78. Oh, we only need 1,000 pounds of fuel, so it's not going to take us long to get that fuel in there. So, and then we'll get underway to Dulles here. If anybody watching the controller, I'd love some ATC. I feel like you guys are all pilots, so it's a bit of a pity because I've kind of really lucked out. I've done so many Saturday morning streams over the last couple months, season 8 in the CRJ here, in and out of New York, and almost every single time we've had ATC, and sometimes we had ATC the full way. Like, I've never seen so much ATC online for my live streams as I have during season 8. It's been very good. Until the last flight, we didn't have too much ATC in. I don't think we had any ATC last flight. We had like I think LaGuardia ground, he gave us a clearance and he logged off, I think. And looks like it might be ditto for this one, unfortunately. But that's the way it is sometimes. You know, volunteer network and all. But I have to say, like, I'm generally very impressed. I'm very happy with the amount of ATC we got this last week, or this last season. All right, where is that fuel truck driving in from? Because it said it's on its way. I'm a stickler for the realism sometimes, but it doesn't make for very exciting TV. But again, it's all about like how much goes on. Just trying to look across a wide part of the airfield. How far away is this guy? I don't know where these things spawn sometimes. Sometimes they spawn from a long, long way away. Well, we must be done boarding because they moved the jet bridge away. Do you see a vehicle driving towards me anywhere? I'm beginning to lose patience with this thing here. I know you guys are all excited, you're watching, you want to see something happen, and looking for the fuel truck is not what anybody wants to see. And it's funny because, like, I remember in the old days of the FSX P3D, there were actually camera views where you could watch the fuel truck. And so you could actually zip around to see where the fuel truck was on the airport, how close it was to you. I don't see it anywhere. I don't even know where it is. Like, GSX says it's on its way. But it could be driving from the other side of JFK. It could be the spawn point. I don't know. Alright, I'm about to give up here. Squibbly, are you ready to go? If I just preload all my fuel and call it a day. Knew I should have just taken all that fuel out of Norfolk. Watch it. Let's have a look at this too here. The minimum fuel for departure. Let's see here. So we have how much extra fuel? We have 1,000 extra fuel. So as long as we have 7,600 in the tanks, technically we can leave because that's just our contingency fuel we don't have. So we can cut it a little close. Now, is that wise? From the perspective of a pilot, it's not particularly wise. You don't want to necessarily be doing that. Taking off with no contingency fuel left, especially in a busy quarter like that. That being said, there's no ATC to delay us today. So barring any kind of major system failure, we should be able to make it there with the minimum planned fuel. It's not too busy on VATSIM. I see him. Here comes the fuel truck. All right. Because it's only going to take like 2 minutes to load, and then we're going to be good to go. Before start checklist. Any questions?
No questions.
Before start checklist. Pre-start checklist.
Stand by.
That's what it's called, this airplane. There's the fuel truck. Hooray! Where were you, buddy?
Fuel truck is in position.
All right. So we're going to go back up.
Fuel
to 50%
quantity.
again. The first thing is fuel quantity, huh? But watch how fast this guy fuels, too. No fuel truck in the world moves fuel that fast. Released with 8.6 tons on board.
8875 pounds. Confirmed. Cabin signs.
I cannot do this because I cannot turn the seatbelt sign on until we're done fueling here. So he's going to be done in a second. Actually, while I'm waiting, one more thing I can do is I've just got to set up my flight tracker here as well. I realized that at the top, it's not reset for the new flight, so let's just load that up really quickly here. And that should do it. Now it's JFK to Dulles. Perfect. All right, and in that time, he finished. Perfect. On.
Pressurization.
Set.
Altimeters.
3030, set left and center.
3030. Set right and cross-checked. Flight instruments.
Set left.
Set right. Oxygen flow.
Check left.
Checked right. FMS.
Verified.
Radios.
Set left.
Set right. Takeoff brief.
Complete.
Pre-start check complete.
Alright, just want to check, make sure the fuel page is updated there properly.
Stand by.
Cancel last command. Cancel checklist.
Maintenance status.
Cancel checklist.
Roger.
Yeah, we're going to meet this thing. So let's just init fuel from aircraft and let's
APU.
just reset these numbers. Cancel checklist.
Roger.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we got new takeoff numbers with our higher fuel, and we're pretty much ready to go again. So we boarded everybody. We'll say 65 people got on there because they took the jet bridge away. So let's go ahead and close her up.
We are Kennedy traffic, Delta 222, pushing start gate 18 from Terminal 5. We are Kennedy traffic.
Closed. Alright, let's get ready for push and start. I do love GSX's push and start here. No GSX
Due to icing
required.
conditions, please stand by for engine start until push.
It is not
completed and
icing
brake
conditions.
set.
There is no visible moisture. The ramp is dry as can be. Get over yourself. Alright, yeah. Engine start check.
APU.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Set. On.
Takeoff data set 471750 pounds. V speeds are V1 136.
Antenna Q4, sky traffic, taxi,
VFT
and 31 left.
196. Flaps 8. Set right.
Set left.
Trims engaged and centered. 7 point. Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Departure check
Set
completed.
left.
Bypass pin inserted.
Checked left. Checked left. Checked left.
Checked right. Hydraulic pumps.
On. Auto and on.
Beacon.
On.
Nose wheel steering.
Off.
Doors.
Closed.
Engine start check complete.
Locking gear.
Alright, here we go. Waiting on 21 more. Oh, waiting on 21 more packs. It's 0 degrees. It's 0 degrees, but there's no moisture. If there's no visible moisture, it's not icing condition. You read any FOM, any AOM, any FCOM, and it'll say icing conditions are 10 degrees Celsius and below with visible moisture. So without the visible moisture, it's nothing. Alright, so we're going to go tail left and try not to block you in too much. Hopefully it doesn't push
Release
us back
parking
too far.
brakes.
Alright, so we got the engine start check done. We can go ahead and release the parking brake, and we're out of here.
Push.
Let's make sure this
Due to
thing is
icing
tracking us
conditions,
as a
please
pre-flight
stand by for
stage
engine
again. It
start
does look
until
like it's
push
figured out the
completed and brake
flight
set.
again. So good. Icing conditions, I don't believe you for 1 second. Start engine 2.
Starting engine 2.
I'm hoping he's not going to block you in too much squibbly. If he looks like he's going to go too far back here, I'll just tell him to stop the push early. But I do like GSX for the hands-off push. Like, it feels very realistic. The only thing that would make GSX more realistic, and I would really love it, is if it was voice-operated. Oh, if they did voice operation, like kind of a mix of Pushback Express and GSX, oh my god, that would be the sweetest setup. You're cleared for pushback. Tail left. The FS2 crew has proven that voice control works. The way aviation works with its tight SOP scripting, it's perfect for voice recognition commands. So imagine that. You just say, ready for pushback, tail left, instead of clicking any buttons. That would just be awesome. Okay, so I think he's about as far as he's going to go. I'm just going to tell him to stop here, so we don't block you in.
Engine 2 start complete.
Set parking brakes.
Start engine 1.
Starting engine 1.
Alright, and just make sure we're not moving. Brakes are set.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine. Start. You can disconnect.
Alright, you guys are clear to disconnect. Put a hand signals. And perfect. Yeah, GSX seemed to get hung up there, so I'm not sure if it actually even really boarded any passengers or not, but we're just going to say it did. For about 30 minutes, that was about the right turn time to board and deboard about 100 passengers. So, there's an Air Canada flight there. Alright, so he's starting. Here comes the acceleration again. We're ready to get going again on leg number 2. I wonder if that 747 is part of the scenery, if somebody actually logged into the network. It's been sitting there and hasn't moved for a while.
Unlocking gear.
I'll try not to taxi too fast. Alright, there they go.
Start complete.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is
Control
clear.
page.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today.
Rudder, full left and full right.
Clear right.
Please direct your attention to the captain.
New York Kennedy traffic, Delta 222, taxi 31 left, apron, Delta Alpha, Kilo, Juliet Alpha. Kennedy traffic.
Pre-taxi check.
APU.
Set.
Any ice. Set.
Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, lift the metal flap on the buckle.
Checked.
It is our
Nose will
policy
steer.
that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated.
Armed.
Flaps. Flaps 8. Set.
Flaps 8 confirmed.
Door operation. Each door is equipped with an
Flaps
indicating
8
light.
confirmed.
Locate the exit nearest you.
Flaps 8
Hi,
confirmed.
traffic, Canada Q4, traffic level 0
Check
for left,
Check
with
right. Pre-tax check.
The aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen mask will
Clear left.
appear.
Clear right.
Seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask toward you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by pulling on the end.
New York Kennedy traffic, Endeavour 5040. Taxiing for departure 31 left via Kilo Fox Bravo Juliet Zulu, crossing runway 4 left.
On exiting the aircraft,
Clear right.
place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatories.
It's amazing how many people you can shove inside that Airbus too. No wonder it takes so long to get you going again.
Thank you for your attention.
Funny story, I don't think that's me. Oh, is that not you? Oh, that's funny. I just assumed the Delta bus. I assumed it was you. That's all good. We'll catch up to you. I saw you when we were on final there. I was chasing you down final, so I know you're here somewhere. When we get to Washington, we will pick a gate before we get there. And this time it should work because I have the flight beam Washington Dulles, so the gates will all be appropriately numbered.
Okay,
Wipers
traffic,
off.
Canada Q4, line up, and taking 31 left.
Oh, there's the Air Canada departing 31 left. Nice, nice. Alright, let's just double check our tracker is tracking, so it is on taxi out stage. Perfect. And at the top, it knows that we're taxi out there on that overlay as well. So everything seems to be tracking properly today. Overall, the performance, I gotta say, is looking pretty good right now, considering New York City is always one of the harshest on the simulators. I gotta say, like, that last 1 or 2 sim updates with the NVIDIA improvements really made a big difference on the overall performance of the sim. It's much smoother, much less prone to stuttering. It always used to be a big stuttering thing before, and now it's, yeah, it does stutter every once in a while. I won't say it's perfectly smooth 100% of the time, but especially with me using Track IR. Track IR is one of the biggest performance hogs, I think, if you're using a flight simulator. If you got a Track IR or a VR headset, anything like that where you're really kind of instantly moving and changing view directions so that constantly new textures and scenes have to be rendered in front of you the whole time, makes it very challenging. Alright, there goes the Air Canada. Air Canada bus.
start your flight, Cap.
We're underway. It's a short flight too, which is why I kind of wanted to get these two done back to back. I figured that this would be a good chance to do a turnaround. Full chance back to back. Kennedy traffic. Endeavour 5040 crossing runway 4 left. Just drove on. Clear left. No. Clear left.
Clear right.
Not that I believe him when he says that at all, because it's just a canned response. And in VATSIM, you actually have to look. There could actually be other airplanes taking off and landing. You actually have to look at VATSIM to make sure. Before takeoff, check to the line.
Flight attendants, take your seat for departure, please. Cabin has been notified. Crossflow manual. Thrust reversers armed. Takeoff data set for runway 31. RNAV first fix identified. 5,000 feet pre-selected.
Set.
Fuel, min-fuel confirmed. Takeoff config.
Confirmed. Checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check to the line complete.
Alright, we weren't back in FMS mode, but I got us back in FMS mode now. So that's important. Juliet Alpha, one of these is Zulu here. I'm actually reading these signs here. I hope Microsoft signs are accurate. Shouldn't really trust that they'll be accurate, but I think this is the last one here. Yeah, that says Zulu up there, so this is it. Getting underway. And this is regional life. Like, you could bang out so many legs in a day because you have fast turnarounds, 30, 35 minutes to unload them. You know, a jet with 70 people.
Okay, traffic Canada 241 on the 5 departure with Aerosoft.
All right.
Kennedy traffic Delta 222, we're clear runway 4 left on the airport.
Ah, there you are. I see you now. Kennedy traffic. Endeavour 5040, take position runway 31 left for departure, score 4 departure. Below the line. Before takeoff, check below the line.
Anti-ice.
Off. Set.
Gas.
Checked.
Checked. For takeoff, check below the line complete.
Alright, here we go. Runway heading check.
Check.
Set thrust.
Thrust set.
Kennedy traffic Delta 222 is lining up for departure 31 left behind the departing Endeavour.
Checked.
V1, rotate.
Minimums.
Positive rating.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Climb mode, nav mode. Speed mode, nav mode.
Flaps up.
Pilot's on. Nav never engaged.
Valves on.
Climb sequence.
Kennedy traffic Delta 222 is rolling for departure 31 left on the score 4. Kennedy traffic.
Kennedy traffic, Endeavour 5040 is airborne on the score 4 departure. Final call. set flight level 240. After takeoff check. Ready, that's good. Alright, so we got ourselves established back on
After
course
takeoff
here.
check.
Nav mode did not arm, or did not engage when it was armed, so we had to fly it manually, but it's okay, we got it now.
For the 2 meal choices and your beverage choices available, we request that you keep the aisles clear to assist the flight attendants.
And away we go.
Traffic, United
It's a little airport
254
today, too.
established due to left Newark.
Alright, so we're going to pretty much go all the way to Ranger, and then when we get to Ranger, we'll go direct to Robbinsville. It's really almost direct. We should just, you know what I'm going to do at this point? I'm just going to delete that Discord.
City traffic Delta 222 is airborne off of 31 left.
We'll just laterally navigate it, but in reality, at some point, New York will break us off here and just bring us over there, but that's fine. No New York controllers, we'll deal with it. Alright, other than the nav mode not engaging properly after departure, that was an okay takeoff. Should have been watching that a little bit more carefully. Didn't realize it hadn't engaged, it was kind of doing all sorts of things at once. There's 10,000, keep the lights off. And we'll hold the seatbelts for just a second here. Let's increase the speed to 280 for the climb here. Speed 280. And away we go. This is going to be a short one as well. I didn't even look what the total time was in the flight plan actually. What was the total time in the flight plan? It was probably like 40 minutes of airtime. 46 minutes of airtime. Yeah. She's going to be a quick one today. Alright, it's pretty smooth here. Despite the clouds there, it's pretty smooth. So we're going to go ahead and get the seat belts off. Let my people pee. And we're going to cowl lights off in just a second here. So there we are, already engaged and underway on the second leg. And I think all of us in the flight sim community got a nice little Christmas gift, in a way anyways, from FS2 crew when they finally announced on Christmas Day, no less, that they were releasing FS2 crews for the PMDG 737. So the 737's now been out for about 6 months, and it's taken 6 months for FS2 crew to get themselves fully engaged and on board with it and release their long-awaited FS2 crew for the 737. And that is a piece of software that I am going to be all over. I would have bought it as soon as I read it if it wasn't right after Christmas, and I feel like my credit card and my wallet are kind of hurt a little bit these days. Go ahead and cowl ATA's off there. So you kind of feel a little pain for Christmas these days. Not necessarily in a bad way. It was a great Christmas, and I don't think I regret anything that I ended up purchasing, but just a little on the I don't have a lot of disposable money left side of things. So, but it is out now, so that's fantastic, and it's on sale for those of you that are interested in it. If you go to the FS2 Crew website, it's on sale now for I believe 24.95 euros, and the regular price will be 29.95. So they're having a release sale. If you're thinking of picking it up, pick it up soon before it goes up in price. And I think it's going to be worth it. Based on what I've seen from FS2 Crew in the past, it's going to be totally worth it. And so I'm looking forward to using it. I will use it. I will definitely get it, and I will definitely use it. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards for my next leg, for my next season of A Pilot's Life here. I'm going to bring that screen up in just a second. We're just approaching transition here. One thing I never did at 10,000, I never did bring guard up, which I should have brought up as well.
North traffic, United 254, runway 22 left.
8,000, so set standard, set cross-checked. Yep. Alright, and the cabin is pressurizing nicely. Okay, yeah, so, so kind of have to decide what I want to do next now, because this is going to be this is the last leg in our schedule. After this, my schedule will be blank. I have a chance of generating a new schedule, but I think what I really want to do is take a job at a new airline. and I think I'd like to change airplanes off the CRJ. I like the CRJ, I really do. It's fun in a lot of ways. It's a fun little airplane, but I yearn for something perhaps a little more advanced, a little more realistic. One right or one center. Normally, I would say if you're coming in on one of these arrivals, you're probably going to get one right. One centers, if they're using the ones, they usually get you on a right downwind, and then it's nice and tight onto one right, and all the airplanes coming straight up from the south usually get one center. So for us, I would plan one right. Normally in Douglas, you get one right if you're coming in on the hyper arrival. So let's see here. So I'm going to deselect everything outside of North America because I still want to continue to fly North America, and I want to check aircraft license available, and this kind of really helps screen out, get me there. So
already at traffic, American Tanner to
airlines I've been thinking about. We're getting to 24 pretty quickly here, which is good. Airlines I've been thinking about, WestJet 3 stars, pretty good. Swoop, network's a little bit small. For what I kind of want to do. 737 operators is basically what I'm trying to look for. Swoop's network's not getting bad, actually. It's getting bigger. Kind of a lot of the U.S. holiday destinations, if you will. The Floridas, the Vegas, and Los Angeles, and that thing. It's sort of kind of some cross country. So Swoop actually could be kind of a fun one. 1 star, I'll have no problem getting a job there. Other 737 operators, Southwest would be fun, but 4 stars, it'll be a bit of a stretch to get into Southwest. And Southwest hubs are a little challenging. We're going to just cruise at 300 here. So we're just capturing there. Southwest hubs are a little challenging. I have Midway, but Dallas Love, Houston Hobby are 2 of Southwest's biggest hubs, and they're not available in MSFS in any reasonable, good form. So I love Southwest. I think it's a fun airline in a lot of ways, and it's got a fantastic route network, an absolutely gigantic route network. So you get a lot of variety, but the hubs, unfortunately, that you'd have to go in and out of are not available really in Microsoft Flight Simulator yet in any good way. And the hubs really, like, because you're in and out of the hubs all the time, to me the hubs are a must. You must have the hubs, have a good piece of scenery for the hubs in order for it to work, because you're going to be in and out of them constantly. So Southwest is one I'm thinking of. Other 737 operators, you can try and get in with the big U.S. carriers. Okay, now it's not responding. Please don't crash on me here. No, it's just trying to look Southwest, and there's so many flights. Look at the amount of flights here. One thing's for sure, you can fly for Southwest for years and never fly the same flight twice, because it's just everywhere. But the trouble is that some of their biggest hubs, so some of them we do have available. BWI we have available, Atlanta obviously, DCA. It's KDAL and KHOU would be the 2 big hubs that you kind of have a problem with. But I think even Indianapolis, there's some software available now. Long Beach, it's definitely doable. I might apply to Southwest. I think Southwest would be a really fun airline to fly for. 737 Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, kind of limits you to flying the islands. It'd be kind of fun though for one round, but I feel like it would very quickly get repetitive. I feel like it would very quickly get. No, they don't operate 37s anymore. They operate 320s. So never mind. So I'm kind of looking for 737 operators, and most of them they're either they're 4-star operators. You're getting into the bigger mainline airlines, unless you're dealing with some kind of the niche carrier. So you could do Air Canada, but again, that's a mainline airline. Just trying to see what else here. Transat, I believe, still has a couple 737s there. I believe they used to. I'm not sure if they still do. Nope, now they're an all Airbus fleet on here. So kind of shoot myself in the foot a little bit trying to do the 737. Southwest is really the big go-to one. Other than that, you kind of got to get into like the big ones. Flair is the other one that is a possibility as well. And again, like Swoop, kind of definitely no problem getting in there as a 1-star airline. Kind of an interesting array of destinations. Not as many as Swoop perhaps, but still not a bad array of destinations. So yeah, I definitely want to operate the 737. I'm just not sure where I want to operate the 737 yet. So something to think about. I think I will apply to Southwest and try my luck to get in there. It's not impossible. I've got a pretty good rating overall. My overall rating here is 90-something, 96.2. So that's enough that I got a reasonable chance of getting in there. It's not impossible for me to get into Southwest, so I can try Southwest. But it's not the only one. And look, I have have a friend request in my inbox. So let's go to my community page really quickly, because if you ever want to friend me on this Pilot's Life network, I will accept any and all friend requests. Colin Smith from the USA, you are now my friend on A Pilot's Life. I'm not even close to where these people are. Like some of these people, this lead guy's got $101,000 and 120,000 experience points. And me, I have like $3,000 in my bank account, and I have 700 experience points. But I only fly on stream. That's the thing. Like all of this has been flown live on stream. If you go back through my YouTube channel, you'll find all of these flights in there. You will never not find them. Every flight has been loaded into YouTube, permanently archived in there. All 8 seasons. So I've probably done about 100 to 100, somewhere between 100 and 120 hours probably live on stream, maybe more, doing this Pilot's Life for the last 8 seasons. First of all in Chapter 1 and then in Chapter 2. And I've enjoyed it. I really have. Yeah, I think we're going to go with that 737 operator for the next one. I really want to take that PMDG 737 out and play with that and have some fun with that. And we'll also have the FS2 crew now available, which is what I've kind of been waiting for as well. I really, in order to really feel like this is an immersive airline experience when we're doing these streams, I really need FS2 crew to really add that level. So, okay, let's do this. I'm just going to do this really quick and easy way. We're just going to do Washington Dulles rather than even reload the flight plan. We're going to quickly do this here. We're on the Hyper 8 RNAV arrival. Oh, I can only I gotta load this because I can only pin charts on my current flight. It really isn't that many steps to do it. Just sometimes I just avoid it. Okay, so now I can pin the Hyper 8. No, I can't now because it doesn't. Ah, gosh. Open charts list. It's got to reload the list and say that yes, I can do it now. Now it'll do it. There's the Hyper 8 arrival. So we're coming from Robbinsville, Hikes, Lancaster, Medina, Delro. The first ones are at alert. So let's just check this FMS here and make sure I have the restrictions I need. So we're on our way to Hikes, Lancaster, and then from Lancaster, sorry, we go Joanne, Delro. First restrictions alerts at 14,000. That's in there. Perfect. Hyper at 10,000. At 250 knots, and then for one right, it's going to be Sigbee 7,000, Moet 5,000, Hustle 4,000, and then Yak and Tycon. And after Tycon, it's the vector in for the ILS to one right, so that's all in there. No big special notes really here, just turbojets. So we're going to plan an ILS to runway 1 right to conclude season 8 here into Washington 21-3, 110.1. And final approach course 011. So let's get those up there. 110.1. Let me know if any ATC pops online. Still keeping my fingers crossed. We'll get some Washington or maybe some Potomac here. It's possible. It's that weird week between Christmas and New Year's where some people work and some people don't. So I'm sure there must be at least a few people who can get on and control at some point. I hope. Alright, 011 is the inbound course. We're on a straight heading leg here. So let's just do this really quickly. Loc 011. That's 005. That's 10. So one more click. That's 11 degrees. Perfect. Go back to nav source. Nav. Set course 011 on your side. Set course on my side 11. Thanks, Microsoft. Set course on my side 011. Set course on your side 011. Because for some reason he listened to that and he decided to set my course to something different. So we'll have to check that again when we get a little closer in, darn it. Okay. Let's just zoom out a little bit here. My first restrictions at alerts there, 14,000. So we got a top of descent right near Lancaster. So now we got some time. Alright. Are you ready for the approach brief? Are you ready for the approach brief?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so we're doing the ILS to runway 1 right at the Washington Dulles Airport. Actually, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I should say we're doing the Hyper 8 RNAV arrival at Washington Dulles. Aircraft capable of 180 knots or greater. This is plate... Where is it? No, it's in that corner. Ah! What are you doing to me here? Just go away. Plate 20-2 Echo, effective on the 31st of December of 2020. So we're already on the arrival here. We've passed Robbinsville, and I think we just are coming up on Hikes here. And we're going to go down to Lancaster. From Lancaster, Joanne Delro, Lurch 14,000 bins, Hyper 250 knots, 10,000 feet to enter the Potomac track on. Sigby 7,000 Moet, 5,000 Hustle, 4,000 Yak, and Tycon, and then right around for the ILS to 1 right. So the ILS to 1 right here in Washington, Dulles, plate 21-3, and effective the 9th of July 2021. So the LOC IIAD 110.1 and 011, the inbound course, wax at 1900. I think I checked that one. There it is, wax at 1900, it's there. ILS DA of 512, the airport is at 320. So I think I set the landing elevation a little too high there. So that's a 320, and I'm looking for 520 for the MDA. Tiny little numbers up there on the screen. 520 for the MDA. There we go. Nice. The MSA 3400 west of the field as you get close to those mountains. Missed approaches, climb to 800 feet, then climbing right turn to 3000 via heading of 060 and outbound on the Armel 051 radial to the Blitz intersection. So Blitz intersection, 3000 feet. So straight ahead, 800 feet, climbing right turn 3000, 060 and 051. Alright. To get to the Blitz intersection and hold there, we've got a 3-degree slope at ALSF2 if it's on, Pappy's on the right, it's usually on the sim, and it's supposed to be a nice day there in Washington. I've lost the weather here, but there it is. Winds are calm, 10 miles, speed at 7,000, 3 degrees, 3033 on the meter. Nice day in Washington. So I expect we're going to see the airport from pretty far back. Once we land on 1 right, you can only exit to the left, so convenient high-speed exit to the left. We're probably going to be, expect around Kilo 4-ish, and then we got to get a gate. So let's just do that right now really quickly here, and hopefully there's an Endeavour flight that went from JFK to IAD that I can steal some gating information from. Nope, apparently not. Nope, there's no Endeavours anymore on this, ever. What the heck's going on with Endeavour these days? Let's see if there's any inbound Endeavours that I can find. I don't see any. I see a lot of brickyards. It's like Endeavour got pulled or something. You're trying to sort of be realistic. I don't see any Endeavours inbound at all. I haven't seen any Endeavours really at all today, which is kind of weird. So let's try it this way here. It looked like there were brickyard flights, so maybe I just steal the brickyard flight. Because they were Delta carriers anyways, so. Alright, let's do a... Let's start this again, flight aware. Alright, so I'm going to pick the Brickyard flight. Bravo 72. So let's just have a quick look over here. Bravo 72. Bravo 72. So down here at the west end of the Charlie ramp. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go to Bravo 72. So it'll be exit left, it'll be northbound on Kilo to hold short of Charlie, and then the ramp control will get us westbound on Charlie all the way over to Cape Bravo 72. So, yeah.
Endeavor 5040, can you say your Mach number?
Endeavor 5040, we're at 300 knots, Mach 70, but we'll pick it up.
Roger, we'll lift up here a bit, Mach 75.
We got 320 knots here. Just because we leveled off at 240, we never even transitioned to Mach number. We're just doing a steady speed here, but that's okay. We'll get her done here. Gonna start down here anyways in a moment. Top of descent is pretty much right there at the next waypoint. And zoom in there a little bit. What we'll do is we'll just descend via, so we'll set all the way to the bottom altitude. You know what? No, we're not going to, because this thing doesn't have any active VNAV planning. In order to make sure we kind of hit the targets bang on. We'll have to set each altitude as we kind of go through it here. The first altitude restriction is 14,000 feet, so we'll set that. And that's about it. I think we're all ready. Any questions? Any questions?
No questions.
One thing I did do was I didn't check the NOTAMs, so let's just have a quick look at any NOTAMs in Washington here. NOTAMs. Washington Dulles. Via wires unserviceable. Yankee. ILS 1 right. ILS 1 center, 1 left. Nope. And it's all circling categories. ILS 1 right, Cat 2 and 3. Radar required for procedure entry. That's fine. We're just going to do the standard VATSIM self-effector. ILS 1 right, procedure NA except for Cat 2, 3. ILS 1 right, circling categories, change. That's fine. We don't have to worry about circling categories. Probably with all that subway construction going on there. Alright, let's just get the direct intercept page up here, and a VS of 12 to 1500 should do it. So, go ahead and get the VS in there. And go start going down. And away we go. It's just that quick and dirty, so really don't have too much time to talk about stuff on these flights, but yeah. When we start working for an airline that's flying the 737, maybe we'll have a little more time to deal with these things. Alright, so I won't see the arc coming in there, so let's just increase that rate of descent a little more. Let's see, 1700. Oh, there it comes. Get us 14,000 at Lurch, maybe 1800. There we go. That'll get us the crossing restriction there. Perfect. So we use the tools we have available to us. It'll be kind of nice to have an airplane with proper VNAV on the next season. I don't think we're going to stick with the CRJ much longer. It's kind of fun to come back to it and do some flying and work for a regional operator at the beginning, but I'd rather get into some hardcore 737 flying or maybe the 320. And again, I love the Fenix, but I find it's hit or miss. Sometimes the system runs quite smoothly with the Fenix. Sometimes the Fenix just grinds my system along. And I can't seem to figure out the logic of why sometimes it really works smoothly and sometimes it doesn't. But because of that, and because streaming takes even extra, capacity on top of that to encode a video stream on top of all the stuff your sim is doing, I'm a little scared to use the 320. The 320 is such, the Fenix 320 just does such a good job of maxing out the resources of any system it's on, because it's running all its screens outside the sim on its own rendering process. So usually it'll run those on the CPU while your graphics are running on the GPU, and it's even though your graphics are running on the GPU, the whole back end of the sim, the positioning and everything is still running on the CPU as well. So between the Fenix external thread and the sim itself, it usually maxes out my CPU quite badly. I'm a little scared to use it. The PMDG 737 I find runs a little better, but yeah, the Fenix 320 is going to be kind of, I think, the yardstick in terms of performance. If you can get your airplane, if you can get your system to perform with the Fenix, no other airplane is really going to hold you down. That's the nice thing on the CRJ. Relatively speaking, it's a simplistic airplane. It's a beautiful airplane too, don't get me wrong. It's kind of fun to fly. It just looks like a a little thin can, but I still like it nevertheless. It's something very sleek looking about it. I see you behind me, Swiftly. I see your contrails there. Following me in. Yeah, it's a very sleek looking airplane. I like it, but it's just not really. It's just without the failure. So that's part of the fun too. Is that I like doing these streams and kind of dealing with real world situations here. Most of the time, the real world in aviation is not that bad, but then you get those days where things go wrong, something breaks. And you've got some bad weather, and sort of everything sort of comes apart all at once. And those are the days that really kind of challenge you as a pilot, trying to make useful tactical decisions based on what's in front of you. So I'm looking forward to getting an airplane that has realistic failure scenarios. For some reason, I never set that to standard. I swear I did. 30-33 is set both sides. Get that cowl anti-ice back on there for the ice. He's got the seatbelts going. Why is he got the seatbelts?
Arriving at our destination shortly. If you are making a connection to another flight, please see the customer service agent meeting the flight or video monitors inside the terminal for connecting gate information. For your continued safety, flight attendants will now walk you together.
That red line there. I think the only speed restriction I have is 250 at hyper. Alright, so it looks like we're pretty good for lurch, so I'm going to go ahead and set the altitude for hyper. 10,000 for hyper. Yep, this profile's looking pretty darn good. Except that we have to slow to 250 for hyper as well. Alright, so we'll try to keep the speed up to 320 so we don't, Squibbly don't catch up to us too badly here, but I'm a little hesitant at how rough it's going to be through these clouds here. Hopefully it's nice and smooth. But I'm looking forward to that. I think I've had the most fun when things have gone wrong in the sim and you try to kind of resolve it to decide if you can go on or if you have to divert somewhere and find an appropriate diversion airfield. I remember way back in the day, probably like 5 years ago now, but Canadian Express had a great tour called the Orbex Airports Tour, which was a tour of all the airports included in their North American airports pack. Not all of them even, but it was a tour of about 160 of them, all around Canada, so tons and tons of legs. So I got about halfway through, and you got to these Arctic airports that were literally hours and hours apart, like 500, 1,000 miles apart, and some of these places are so isolated, even the nearest alternate that you can use is sometimes 300-400 miles away. And that happened that one time I was going to this one airport that was way out in the middle of nowhere. Did the approach. It was an RNAV only approach. The minimums were like 600 or 700, 800 feet above ground. Didn't see a thing. Had to go and fly 2 hours to the alternate because I couldn't get in. And the ceiling was just too low. Nothing you could do. Had to go fly to the alternate and finish the leg another day. It was crazy. But it was tons of fun just in that whole, like, you know, we tried. We didn't make it in. We had to divert. It was way longer than I intended to spend flying that day. But sometimes that's the fun of it, is dealing with the challenges, dealing with things not going your way, and how do you resolve those things when they don't go your way. All right, down we go. That was a short flight, though, wasn't it? Oh, it's a pity we didn't have ATC though. I kind of figured it was a bit of a crapshoot today, whether we're going to get ATC or not. I was hoping that there might be some people off for Christmas, but I guess they're enjoying their time off. I haven't logged much time on the network lately either. I'm going to start logging some ATC time this week, I think. Been just a little hectic with Christmas and all, but I had a good Christmas. I didn't really get any sim-related add-ons or anything, but nevertheless, I had a good Christmas. I got stuff I needed. Santa was good to me. It was good to all of us. And really, at the end of the day, the most important thing was I got home. And that was unexpected, pleasant surprise was that I was home for Christmas. So that was probably the best gift of all. Everything else is just gravy. All right, gotta pull the power back here and start slowing for that 250 knots. Set the 250 knots on here as a marker. That's 11,000 descending 10,000. We'll let it level off at 10,000 because that'll help it lose the 250 knots. Kind of murky down there. Can't see too much. Alright, there's all the capture. It's going to work out nicely. To 80. And what do we got? We still got 3 miles to go. Yeah, it's just going to be just enough. Just to get us into that plus or minus 10 knot range there. There we go. 250 knots, nice. Alright, there's hyper. Let's go ahead and set 7,000 now. There's alt. Back to PS again. Target right on there. 700 feet per minute should do it. 800 feet. Something like that. Okay, yeah, starting to see some ground contact there. It's very hazy, but you can see something coming up. I don't think we're having any problem spotting this airplane as we get closer. Descent check.
Pressurization set. Fuel checked. Altimeters.
3033 set left.
3033 set right. Landing data set 4684 pounds. Thrust reversers.
Armed.
Lights.
Set.
Seatbelt sign.
On.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Checked left.
Checked right. Approach briefing.
Complete.
Descent check complete.
Thank you. Nice. Just have a quick look on VATSIM, see how much traffic's coming in and out of Washington today. And not very much. And Squibbly, I don't think you ever refiled your flight plan because it still says you're Norfolk to JFK. The system's a little confused by you. That's about it. There's just the two of us inbound. There's one departure. There's not much going on in Kennedy or in Dulles today, unfortunately. It's funny because Dulles is not one of those. You didn't talk about my retirement. My retirement. Oh, my retirement. Yeah. I'm happy to get out of that a little bit. It's a little bit, a little bittersweet. I finally decided to give up my role as a training director of VATCAD, but it was a little bittersweet because I was happy to sort of not have to worry about it anymore. I've been doing that role for like 5 years, and I was enthusiastic at the beginning and had all sorts of ideas and kind of brought all sorts of standardization to it. But then over time, I lost enthusiasm for it. I won't say I lost interest, but I definitely lost my enthusiasm for making changes. I thought everything was kind of okay the way it was. And people disagreed, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions. But I felt like I had served that role long enough, and it was time to move on and let somebody who let somebody else fulfill that role. Maybe someone brings some new enthusiasm, some new ideas to the role. So for the first time in probably 8 or 9 years, I do not have an official role in VATCAN other than just being a controller and sometimes instructor. I don't have any kind of administrative role, and it's kind of nice to just get back on the scopes and just do the controlling. And I happily contributed, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the time of being able to give back so much to the community and help push everything forward, create a better training system for everyone. But it's nice to not have that weighing on you sometimes and just be able to just log on when you want, just control. And I miss that. I spent so much time kind of worrying about administrative stuff, never got the time to control. So that being said, of course, the training that I've been going through the last 4 months, I'll be so happy when it's done. I'm hoping that today I'm going to find out when the last of the training is going to be and get it done, because I'm so eager for it to be done. It's been so long. All right, so just continue present descent rate should get us about what, 5,000 give or take. It's supposed to be going down at 700. It's kind of just pitching up and down a little bit, but it's trying. So it's good. It's kind of nice like that. And I have to say that retirement party that Travis and I had was great. So the week before Christmas, or was it 2 weeks before Christmas, Travis and I, we both kind of resigned our roles at the same time. And so we both just had a 2-person event in Toronto where he took over the entire terminal, I took over the entire local at Toronto Pearson, and we just controlled those 2 airports for 3 hours straight one night. And we got tons of traffic. I want to say thank you to everybody that came out for that. And I realize I'm not on webcam anymore. I keep forgetting when I turn that off. But I want to thank everyone in person that came out to that. It was great. We had tons of fun. It was a lovely amount of traffic. Just about the right amount. Could have had a few more. Always could have had a few more. But enough to keep us both steadily busy working the whole night, which is what we wanted. We just wanted to get out there and just control again and celebrate the fact that we were free to just control without having to worry too much. Travis still technically is a facility engineer in Toronto, so he still is responsible for kind of maintaining all the data files and everything, the sector files that we all use, but it's a relatively low-key role, and that's his only role left. I've got nothing. I'm happy to have retired from that life because I've been filling in these roles for a long time, and I enjoyed it, but when you do it for a long time, you start to become just unenthusiastic about it. It becomes a job rather than something you willingly want to go and do the best you can do. So even maybe just having a little bit of time away from that, I'll get back to that point where I'll be able to say, hey, I think I want to contribute more again and do more. But it'll be nice to just sort of be away and just be able to focus on the things that I really enjoy doing, which is kind of flying these sims, streaming for you guys. I really enjoy doing that. Doing the occasional ATC stream as well, and hopefully get back into doing some training. I haven't really done much training of controllers lately, and it's just, again, it comes down to time. Hopefully, now that training will be done, I'll be able to sort of, I'll be able to just sort of find some time for myself. That would be nice. Now, given that Dulles is kind of empty today, I think one thing I'm going to do is, I think we'll turn on the FSLTL traffic. Don't say that. You think your abilities of Captain Terminal. Center is a big, different animal, but it's not impossible. It can seem intimidating at first too. So let's get the traffic injector going here and just put some traffic on the ground there and tell us when we get there so it doesn't look like a completely empty airport. But yeah, yeah, I think most people, if you can make it through terminal, you can definitely make it through center. The difference between terminal and center is terminal requires a lot more, or center requires kind of a lot more widespread situational awareness. You need to be able to keep track of multiple situations and be able to sort of shift gears very quickly from one thing to another, from giving a departure clearance at one airport to handling an uncontrolled departure at another one, to resolving high-level conflicts. Identifying aircraft entering from uncontrolled sectors. There's just so much you kind of have to do. It's not impossible by any means. I think you can probably handle it. If you can do terminal, you can do center. It's just a matter of getting some time practicing, and maybe it won't happen quickly. Maybe it won't happen quickly, and maybe you need to go and practice maybe even the individual positions, get used to the Ottawa Tower and London Tower, get used to those positions and make sure you're familiar with those, because as a center controller, you're going to do all those things. Got traffic over my left side there, 2900 feet climbing. That might be him there with that contrail. Now I'm going to see lots of traffic on here because I've added all this traffic, so let's see what we're up to here. We got 26 IFRs, 15 VFRs, 15 GAs, 15 VFRs. Got a fair amount of traffic now in the sim, and hopefully it'll paint a whole bunch of traffic on the ground at Dulles to kind of keep things exciting. So I'm going to try and keep the speed up to 240 here. We're level 4,000 here at Hustle. We got to go past the airport and then turn around and land. That's the airport right over there. Oh, well, you can tell, but that's the airport right there. So go across the Potomac. I can't believe it's not snowy. I think this sim is probably, I'm pretty sure we're flying live weather. Yeah, we have live weather, but I feel like this is not correct. With all that winter storm that came through last week, I don't believe for 1 second that there's no snow on the ground in Washington. It's got to be snowy in Washington. With the deep freeze and everything that happened the last week and all that precipitation, it had to have snowed in Washington, D.C. at least a bit. I don't believe it's this green. Anyways, it should be brown if it's not green. Seasons hopefully will come eventually. A nice thing when we land in Washington, on one right, you guys can pay attention when we're on final, but just off to the left side, about a quarter-mile final, is the Smithsonian's Air and Space Museum, the Udvar-Hazey Center, which is the giant hangar at Dulles Airport. So it's just southwest of the threshold of runway 1 right, and it is I've been to it twice now, and I would go again in a heartbeat if you gave me if I was there and had a chance. The museum is free, and it is one of the best collections of aviation artifacts in the entire world, bar none. It is one of the best collections. The airplanes that it has that they have in that hangar are just phenomenal. They have a Concorde in there. They have an SR-71. They have a space shuttle. They have the Enola Gay, and hundreds upon hundreds of other aircraft and thousands upon thousands of aviation artifacts. It's just an absolutely fantastic museum. You can actually see it there. So that's the threshold of 1 right, that kind of white roof right there. That's the Udvar-Hazey Center. It's just one of the best aviation museums, certainly in America. If you ever are in the Washington Dulles area and you have some time to kill, even just a couple hours, the museum is free. All you have to do is get there. The museum itself, entry is free. And it's like I said, it's one of the most fantastic aviation museums out there. I could spend hours and hours. I've been there twice now, and I would go again in a heartbeat. Just absolutely phenomenal museum. So you can watch for that while we're on short final. You should just sort of see it out the lower left corner of the window go by. And there's even a control tower in the middle of it. You can't really see it that well, but there's a little control tower in the middle of the hangar there. You can actually go up and watch the airplanes taking off and landing at Washington Dulles while you're visiting the museum. So it's a great little museum if you're at all interested in airplanes. And if any of you, if you're watching this channel, you must be. Great place if you ever get a chance to go visit it. The Udvar-Hazey Center at the Washington Dulles Airport. You can kind of see it. It's a big, long hangar. Tons and tons of airplanes. If you like warbirds, you like civilian airplanes, whatever you like. They have a whole bunch of stuff from German airplanes that they captured at the end of World War II and brought home, all sorts of stuff. All right, we're going to start a descent to 3,000 here. And we're going to start bringing the speed back as well. And it's going to be Mosby. We're basically going to turn base at Mosby there, join at 3,000, and fly from there. So start getting the speed back a little bit. We're basically abeam the field now. We just passed the field there. Yeah, just past the beam threshold. So get ourselves all established here. There's this black fly guy who flies out of these tiny little airports. Who knows where airports up north to? Which goes really hard. Well, and that's the fun thing about flying in northern Canada. Like America, you miss at your destination. Usually there's an alternate 10 minutes away. Like there's airports everywhere in this country. You can't spit without hitting an airport in America. But in Canada, especially when you start to get even in the southern parts of Canada, but when you get in the northern parts of Canada, alternates, like the nearest next strip that's 4,000 feet of gravel, not even pavement, could be like 300 or 400 or 500 miles away. It can easily be an hour or 2 hours away. So. And oftentimes they don't have great nav aids at a lot of these airports either. So you're flying to these little airports, doing maybe an RNAV approach, and there's high terrain nearby. So the lowest you can go is 800 or 1,000 feet above ground instead of an ILS down to 200 feet. Like the kind of the scope of aviation in Canada versus America is just crazy in terms of the infrastructure that exists in America that doesn't exist in Canada. You got all these remote settlements, and aviation's often the only way in, but if you can't make it in there, the next airport is 300, 400, 500 miles away, not 20, 30 miles away. So you have to be a little bit hardcore when you fly in Canada. I do like those challenges, though. Don't get me wrong. I love those challenges. All right, we're going to start getting ourselves all squared away here. Just coming up at Beam Mosby. We're going to turn base at Beam Mosby. Hopefully my sim's not stuttering too much with all those airplanes I loaded. It's got about 39, 40, it's got about 63 IFRs and 15 VFRs loaded. It's loaded about 80 AI airplanes now, so hopefully it'll look a little busy when we get on the ground there in Dulles. And actually, while we're on the downwind here, let's do this really quickly. What did I say? Cape Bravo 72, right?
Dulles traffic Delta 222. We're on the downwind for runway 01 right. On the Hyper 8 arrival there, about 30 track miles left. Dulles traffic.
What was our ZFW on this one? We're a little lighter, so it's 56. Just get my ref number up here, so 138 is going to be my new ref. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this turning. So heading 280. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Washington Dulles traffic, Endeavour 5040 is turning a right base runway 1 right. So 180 on the speed, that should work nicely. Just get my bug back there so I can keep an eye on it.
Cals and wings are coming on.
Oh, stop listening to me. We don't need any of that, we just need to turn. 340 for the intercept, and clear for the approach. So there's Loc 1 glide slope armed. I guess it helps if we actually select the localizer there. Loc 1. Nice. What a beautiful day, though. Flaps 8.
Flaps 8.
Should be somewhere just about a BB there. See your flashing lights, but I'm sure you're out there. Hopefully you're not cutting me off. Alright. Focus, glide slope's alive. That up, it's alright. And just refresh my memory, missed approach altitude on this, I've forgotten here. Missed approach altitude is 3,000. Kind of what I figured, but I wasn't sure. There's glide slope, missed approach altitude, 3,000 feet set. Now you see lots of targets on there because I got all this FSLTL traffic running here. Washington Dulles traffic, Endeavour 5040 is a 5-mile final runway 1 right. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 20.
Flaps 20.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
Landing check. Flaps 45, final flaps.
Flaps 45. 4 landing check, please. Landing gear.
Down 3 green. Oh, now it is. Almost got me on that one.
1,000.
Down 3 green.
Spoiler 0. Flaps 45. 4 landing check, please.
Sometimes I forget. FS2 crew lures me down that path. I forget that I have the honeycomb and I have to move the gear lever or nothing happens. FS2 crew can't override it. So there's the museum right there on the left. And it's really quite well modeled. It's a detailed little model there, but it's such an iconic structure at this airport.
Pressurization. Set. Fuel. Checked. Altimeters.
Cancel checklist.
Sink rate.
Roger.
400.
I don't know what you're doing, airplane, but
Autopilot on.
I have
300.
control.
$200. 100. Sink
Continue.
rate. 50, 40, 30, 20. 10.
Ninety knots.
Roger. Take this one here. Kind of looks better when you got actual airplanes there. Since there's no VATSIMers here today. After landing check. Washington Dulles traffic, Endeavour 5040 is clear. Runway 1 right taxiing to Concourse B. For some reason, I'm only hearing that as carrier only. Not sure if the mic's something's going on with the mic. Alright, so this is Concourse B right here. So taxi lane C. Start the AP, or do I have to remind him? It's nice to actually see airplanes sometimes. It does definitely add some realism. You can see British Airways, and I think is that an Iceland maybe, or a Lufthansa tail in the distance there. See a few United airplanes here and there. It definitely adds some immersion to the whole thing. Do like that. Alright, APU, that shutoff valve open.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the
It's
conclusion
not
of our
starting
flight.
properly for some reason. It has to be double clicked. Yeah, it's nice on
Cowls
here.
on.
Until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign in the aircraft.
Okay, we don't need cowls. Stop with the cowls. Just give up on the cowls, buddy. I don't know why you're obsessed with these things.
We'd like to thank you for flying with us today.
Is that a
We
Metroliner?
really hope
They even have a Metroliner down here. Nice. I gotta say, like, FSLTL has got some nice, a nice array of models, and I think that recent update that they did, they added like another couple hundred models. G Cook Scotland 1, hey, happy holidays to you as well. Thank you very much for the nice wishes. Welcome to Washington Dulles. The one thing that I think Flightbeam could have done that would have probably finished the immersion of Washington Dulles is if they'd made some of these people movers drive around. If you're trying to dodge people movers the whole time you were here, that would be the last thing I think that would really kind of add some immersion. Because no other place, well, very, very, very few other airports, especially North America, really have any kind of people mover system that they actually use on a regular basis. I think Washington's the only place where they actually use them on like a daily basis. Other places that kind of have the vehicles for, you know, abnormal situations when people are parked on hard stands when they're not supposed to be, but Washington Dulles is one of the few where it's used constantly, and they're even just used as like a commuter system around the airport. So when you're trying to get from the main terminal to one of these concourses, you can either take the underground walkways or you can take one of these vehicles and they run like a bus service between the different concourses, as well as taking international arrivals from this concourse over to the international arrivals building. So there's all sorts of things they do there. All right, I got to figure out where we're going here. So I know we're up at this end somewhere. Bravo 72, and I should see some marshalers when I get there too. So one of these gates here is going to be Bravo 72. Oh, is it this gate here that this guy's occupied? Oh, don't tell me that's it. Hold on. Because it could well be... No, I think it's a little further along. No, okay, so here's the wide part of the building. There's the wide part of the building, so it's a little further along. 1, 2, 3, 4 gates past it, so somewhere near where that Mad Dog's parked, I think. Alright. Well, we should see my marshaller hopefully waiting for me there. This right here, where there's this big kind of thing that juts out here, is the train station. So there's also an underground train that runs back and forth between the different concourses and the main terminal building there. So the one station, the one end of the line is right underneath here. 50 feet underground or whatever.
Dulles traffic Delta 222, we're about a 3-mile final. Unfortunately, we've got
looks like this guy's probably parked on my gate.
speed
You
reference
son of a bugger.
unreliable, so we're going visual at this point. See if we get down here and situation.
Or is it this one? Is that him right there? Is that my marshaller right there? Oh, that's him right there. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. So my gate's not occupied. That's what I was afraid of, was the gate would be occupied. Alright, so marshaller's in sight. Taxi lights off. Let's just check the APU. The APU's up and running this time. That's good. Alright, so get rid of this thing blocking 3/4 of my view. And I was afraid that spot where the plain white airplane is was the spot, but no, this is the one. Bravo 68. I don't think that's the right one. It's supposed to be 72. Once again, things don't match up. That's alright. Point is, we got a marshaller, so we got to be in the right place. Watch out, buddy. You know there's an airplane coming towards you, right? And now you're not even walking at all. If you get hit, it's your own fault. Got everything ready for us here, though. All the equipment and everything. It's good. I wonder if that jet bridge is going to make it here. Alright, well, if not, we can just offload onto the apron. That's the nice thing about having integral air stairs. APU's on, so we can go ahead and do shut down. Submit your flight, thank you. Seatbelts off, beacon off, and shutdown check.
Shocks and brakes.
In and on.
Seatbelt sign.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Packs.
Off. Set.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Hydraulic pump 3A.
Off.
Beacon.
Off.
Nose wheel steering.
Off.
Transponder standby. Shutdown check complete.
Woo! We made it. All right. Let's open up the door. And let's see if a jet bridge will come and meet us. I'm a little skeptical about this, to be honest, because it seems like we're parked a long way from that jet bridge. I feel like it's not going to want to come this far. I feel like those are not the default jet bridges. I think GSX replaced the jet bridges here, so we're not going to be able to do that. That's okay. We can offload on the apron.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
Oh, we are parked in the wrong parking position. Aha. Oh, wow. That didn't mean for that to happen. Oh my god. Well, hopefully the jetway will make it now. No, the jetway still will not make it. No, doesn't like me at all. Oh well. To use voice attack for your checklist or an add-on? I have FS2 crew going for the CRJ. That's what I'm using for my add-ons here. Didn't mean to move that there. GSX just kind of jumped us anyway, so thanks GSX. But oh well, we'll just offload people onto the apron directly. So we'll probably put those stairs back up. Let's see if we can call GSX, and I don't know if it'll do disembarking on the apron here, but
The boarding requested.
we'll see if it does it. Anyways, Swissport, yeah, it's fine. Didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, so we did pick the wrong gate. That must have been Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that was gate 72 over there. So that was probably Microsoft Flight Simulator trying to marshal me in there, so be careful of your various gates. Oh well. You know what? It's all part of the fun. Sometimes things don't go according to plan in aviation and in the sim world, and you just gotta roll with it. That's all you can do, just roll with it. So that's what we're gonna do. But anyways, that finishes my season 8 of A Pilot's Life. That was a lot of speed warnings. I had to use a switching panel. Wow. Speed unreliable on final. Oh, if you're flying the Fenix, turn off icing. I've gotten that like 3 or 4 times now. I didn't see you said that, but oh, and then these people are just walking through the air just to make it that much more realistic. Wow. Thanks, GSX. I think it's because GSX replaced the jetways. Anywho, I'm just going to cover them up because I don't want to see that. Yes, if you're getting that trouble with the Fenix, unreliable airspeed on final, and I've gotten that a few times, turn off icing in the sim. Go in the options menu, I think it's under assistance or something, and just turn off icing in the sim. Because, yeah, I've had that happen a couple times where it was fine, and then you start going down final, and it won't slow down because you get unreliable airspeed. You go climb back up to altitude, it works again. And then every time you go down and it picks up icing again, the Fenix doesn't know how to play nice with Microsoft's icing system. So just, yeah, make sure if you're flying the Fenix, turn off that icing system. I found that out the hard way as well, trust me. All right, so that's it. My schedule is empty. As soon as I do this anyway, submit this flight. And with that, we are done season 8 of A Pilot's Life. So I have done my first full month schedule at Pilot's Life Chapter 2, working for Endeavour, and I think it's time to move on. So I think I'm going to do this. We'll see how this goes because I would like to. I think Southwest would be a great airline to fly for. I'm going to apply and hope it becomes... hope they take me. If they don't take me, I'll find somewhere else. But I'm going to fly. I'm going to try because I want to fly that 737 is basically what I want to do. So let's go ahead and apply to Southwest Airlines, and it'll give me a couple of days. It'll give me an answer. Beyond that, I don't know what else to do. Maybe flare, maybe swoop. I think we might do flare. It's only rated as a 1-star airline, not the most number of destinations, but do some Canadian flying again. WestJet might be a little hard to get into, but maybe. Until they have Calgary, though, it's not as... It's tough to do without Calgary. Anyways, I'll think about it. Any other good 737 operators that are not like 4-star, 5-star airlines, yeah, maybe Swoop would be the one to do, or WestJet. I've done WestJet before, though. Years and years ago, I did WestJet, a couple seasons, I think. So, see if we can fly for somebody different. Not that Swoop is different from WestJet, but anyways. Where is Swoop? I can't find Swoop.
Captain, all
jobs
passengers have left the plane.
Oh, Swoop is fully staffed. I cannot work at Swoop. So I'll have to maybe apply to WestJet again and see if we can get into any of these airlines. Yeah, I wish Calgary would be added to. I believe FSIM Studios is working on an update to their Calgary. They had Calgary for P3D, and I believe FSIM Studios is working on Calgary for MSFS. So I think it's just a matter of time that before they get there. But yeah. That's one that I think that's integral to WestJet's operation. Without Calgary, kind of hard to do a WestJet operation. Yeah, we can deboard everybody. We're done for the day.
Crew deboarding starting.
But yeah, so we'll apply to those airlines. We'll keep trucking along with those. Maybe I'll get into one of those airlines. Hopefully I'll get into at least one of them, and hopefully I'll get a better salary than I'm getting right now. Because I think right now I'm getting like $16 an hour. So today I just made like $32. What's my salary here? $16.33. So I probably made about $32 today, $35 today. I didn't add much to my total bank account here, so I'm looking forward to also just moving up the ranks in terms of getting a better paycheck. now everyone's offering me 20 to 30, between $20 and $27 here, $18. So definitely. Where's Skytrans? I don't know anything about Skytrans. Is that in Europe as well? Because I'm not really ready to fly Europe. Oh no, that's in the Australia. Ooh, that could be fun actually. But I don't have any Australian airports though. That's the other problem. One A320. You could fly the A320. Yeah. Anywho, we'll have to think about it, but we'll definitely stay tuned for next year. We're going to start Season 9 at a new airline, so stay in my Discord there if you're not already in there. I'll try to announce when I pick the new airline. We'll try and generate a schedule that creates some slightly longer legs, so we have a little more time to chat about stuff that happens in this industry. And otherwise, yeah, I think this little special decoration right up here says it all. Just a Merry Christmas to everyone is all it says. You click on it, but I love it. I love that little add-on in there. But yeah, it was tons of fun, guys. I've enjoyed Season 8. Flying this Aerosoft CRJ around, it hasn't been glitch-free by any means. There's Squibbly right there, right next to me. I've had glitches, I've had issues. It hasn't been perfect by any means, but I've enjoyed it nevertheless. It's fun. It's fun to just see what these sims can do. And it's fun having a chance to share it with my friends and on the network, and yeah. So what can I say except happy holidays, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your holiday season, and happy New Year to everybody as well. And I will see everybody back in the new year for Season 9 of A Pilot's Life. So stay tuned to the Discord. Make sure you're following me on Twitch and YouTube, and you'll find out when that next season airs. And in the meantime, happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you guys all next time. And if I can find my streaming software at the bottom of this pile of windows, I'll end it. Have a great day, everybody.